Well, technical difficulties, what can you do? It is genuinely the most irritating, annoying feature of all time. And of course, it had to happen before my new series. Anyway, welcome everybody to what is something that I've decided to plan to do ever since just before the end of the season was going to happen. It's going to take place across this month and probably half of next month as well. Depends on what I can do. But as you can see by the title name, it is my version of what Lineker and Co. do on Match of the Day, but it's the League One version. Of course, this is a Plymouth Argyle YouTube channel, so hence why I thought I'd do this anyway. But also, in general, it has been a very unusual season for both the good and the bad things, really. But no, it's just something I thought I'd put together. Whatever league we're in, we go week by week on how each of the 24 or 20 teams, that's if we make it to the Premier League, have done and all that. But of course, we've just had the 22-23 season of League One that we've been in. And yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Liam's going to be joining us later. He's going to be my co-presenter alongside this series. But my first special guest in this is Brad, Barnsley fan. How are we doing, mate? How are things?
I'm doing all right. It's been a nice weekend, lovely weather. It's been an all right weekend, to be fair.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Might be a bit of a terrible question. You might not want to hear it, but are you looking forward to next season at the moment?
Absolutely, yeah. If we can keep this team together, even if we lose a few key players such as Anderson, Jordan Williams, I'll be happy. If we can keep Duff, I think that's all we need at the moment, is just to keep Duff, and then we'll be fine for the rest of the season.
No, 100%, 100%. Obviously, we faced Barnsley on the opening day of the season, and we'll get to that in a minute. But of course, this roundup is of the opening day of the season, and we're going to go through game by game, of course, on each of the 12 games from the opening round, of course. And there's going to be 46 episodes of this from round one, where we are now, to all the way to round 46, where we played Port Vale away. You guys played Peterborough at home. Tomorrow, guys, I will be doing free streams. Tomorrow morning is round two, where we face Fleetwood away. Then tomorrow afternoon at 3:00, we've got a third game of the season against Peterborough that week at home. And then tomorrow night, the dreaded defeat 5-1 at the Valley at Charlton tomorrow night, because that was match week 4. So it's got to be done. It's got to be done. But we are going to begin with a game that I thought was an absolute belter. I did not expect it at all on opening day, but I'll tell you what, it's something to kick the season off, really, in general. In fact, before I go into that, of course, obviously we all know the different changes into League One this season, the promotion and relegation. Obviously, last season we had Wigan, Rotherham, Sunderland, Crewe, Gillingham, Wimbledon, Doncaster. We didn't have them this season. Wigan, Rotherham and Sunderland all got promoted to the Championship, while Gillingham, Crewe, Wimbledon and Donny all went down to League Two. So we didn't face any of them this season. And of course, coming up were Forest Green, Bristol Rovers, Port Vale, and the most annoying club in the world, Exeter City. So the Devon Derby is back from what we had this season. And then Peterborough, Derby, and Brad's going to hate me for saying this, Barnsley, all coming down from the Championship to League One to play us this season in what looked like to be back in July, a very exciting Championship season with all the teams there. But we're going to begin this review of the season with a club that Brad doesn't like, that hosts a club that I don't like, in what was a thrilling 3-3 draw. Sheffield Wednesday hosting Portsmouth, and this is a reminder. By the way, Brad, before I play the game, you can see my screen, right, for it?
I could, yes, but what's called my PC's just turned off, so I'm going to try and turn it back on.
Okay, I'll let you do that. But no, I'll say if you can see my other screen, then I know we're good to go for it. But yeah, it was a very insane results to start off the season. But you can definitely see my other screen then.
I can see you. Yeah, I am sorry about this. It's really warm at PC today.
So yeah, Sheffield Wednesday hosting Portsmouth at Hillsborough. Pompey, the first visitors to come to the South Yorkshire club, all the way in Sheffield. Big encounter this was. Well, while we're watching this, actually, Brad, before as we see Wednesday take the lead right there, clinical as you like. What were your thoughts coming into this season? Like, who did you see as, like, I don't know, your biggest threats or biggest, obviously biggest rivals, biggest threats, or who you felt was going to be the ones to watch out for aiming to go straight back up to the Championship?
Well, at the start of the season, I would have thought with Derby, they got the minus 21 points at the start of the 21-22 campaign in the Championship, and they finished above us with minus 21 points. And I thought if they came back down, if they kept some players, but like I said, they did lose a lot of players because of the administration. And for the biggest rivals, I said Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, with only 2 Yorkshire teams in the league, and they're only about 15 miles down the road, so it had to be Sheffield Wednesday and Old Derby, I'd say.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I was actually, I was really unsure about Derby because of their financial state, but I get why people were favouring of all that. Wednesday then take a 2-1 lead after Pompey equalised. But this was an interesting match because we had fourth place who just missed out on the playoffs, knocked out playoff semi-final, knocked out by Sunderland. The other team finished in a bang average 10th place. But still, these were 2 of the favourites coming into this season. And I'd looking back at this, Brad, I'd actually say this is a very good point for Pompey and already big points dropped for the Wednesday.
Well, Pompey were doing playoffs like up till November, weren't they? Pompey.
Exactly. Like this was back at the start of the season. This was back when Pompey actually were playing really good football, and I actually thought for a minute they were going to be ones to watch. But later on in the season, well, we all know what happens. Of course, Wednesday have a new goalkeeper as well here, David Stockdale, who they signed from Wickham. Bailey Peacock-Farrell was their keeper last season. So there were some replacements there. But no, he didn't get off to the greatest of debuts either, because this was mouth-watering, mind-blowing 3-3 draw. So just all that, really. But yeah, very, very interesting. Pompey even took the lead as well. And I actually thought for a minute while I was watching, because I was watching I couldn't go. Barnsley at home was actually one of the 3 home games I could not make this season because I was still studying for my uni degree. Barnsley, Bolton and Peterborough. I was watching our game on my laptop while this was all happening. And I actually thought Pompey were going to take 3 points away from Hillsborough as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's hard to take points away from Hillsborough.
It is very hard to take points away from Hillsborough. And once we do get into round 7 of the season, which is going to be live on Tuesday, we will see your impressive 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. I know you've been saying it's probably one of your best performances of the entire season.
Yeah, exactly.
Beating your biggest rivals. Beating your biggest rivals just can't get any better than that, can you?
Almost team to do it, but well, it is where it is, It's a shame we didn't do it at the end, but what can you say?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, no, it's I will share my screen for this bit though, if I can move that bit together before I go onto the next game. But yeah, obviously it ended 3-3 at Hillsborough, opening round of the season. Deli Bashiru getting 2, Johnson getting 1, and then you got Ogilvie, Jacobson, Colby Bishop on his debut for Pompey, signing him from Accrington Stanley. And that is your player ratings right there. It just shows it was just an absolute goal fest and all that, really. This was back when Danny Cowley was managing Pompey as well. Dane Scarlett with his debut as well. But Wednesday had the more shots and the more possession. So this game, I know it'll come different towards the end of the season, but this game was a big blow for the Owls, I felt.
So you always want to start a campaign off with 3 points, but probably 1 point's better than no points. So I think they would take inspiration from the fact they scored 3 goals against a side that's one of the favourites to go up.
Oh, exactly. It's also a blow for Wednesday. I mean, look at that record. Pompey do not have a decent record against them at all, unless they're drawing. So it's when you compare Pompey to the likes of, and even Ipswich on this, like, we couldn't get a point from Hillsborough. We lost 1-0. Derby lost there as well. Peterborough lost there as well. So looking back again, Pompey will be proud of getting that point at Hillsborough in the first place, because like you said, Brad, it is so hard to get a point there in general. I mean, like, we couldn't get a point there last season either. They beat us 4-2. So there was that as well. So that just shows Bolton got a point there as well. So that just shows in general that this club right here have by far been the best team to come to Hillsborough. The good old Barnsley. Like, in fact, I think you're the only one. I think you're the only one to win at Hillsborough, I swear.
I think it only one to win there this season. I think Newcastle turned up there, didn't they, in FA Cup?
Oh yeah, Newcastle. But like in League One, I think you guys were the only ones to do it.
The only ones to get 3 points there, yeah.
And obviously, you took 6 points off them. You're the only ones to. I think there's another team where Wednesday couldn't take points from all season, but I know, they couldn't take points from Barnsley at all. So just honestly, fair play to them. So the fair play to Pompey for that result, regardless. Anyway, because again, like I said before and again, like getting a point at Hillsborough is just unbelievable. I said before we played Wednesday that if we get a point at Hillsborough, I genuinely think that's us up. But the minute we lost, I thought, well, there's unfinished business then, isn't there? And
exactly.
Then Cooper got injured, Dan Scarr got injured, so that was also.
I think they got injured a bit maliciously. I think we can both agree on that.
Hard to take as well, though. Yeah, I was on Mitchell's stream the other day doing championship predictions, and he was saying about Dan Scarr and Michael Cooper being injured. I said, "Oh, I wonder who did that then, Mitchell." And he's just joking about, definitely not Sheffield Wednesday, definitely not Josh Windass. I'm like, No, that was a hard one to take. I thought they played very dirty against us at Hillsborough, but it is what it is. We were champions.
You got the last laugh at end. So
we did get the last laugh, didn't we? Yeah, exactly. We now move on to the second game. Another mouth-watering opening day clash. This time at Portman Road. Two of the favourites once more. Ipswich hosting Bolton at the Portman Road. What was in what was like Wednesday Pompey, just not exactly a goal fest, but this was a complete typical 1-1 draw and
proper game of football.
Yeah, again, same with us. When we get to there in round 27 of the season, I mean, as we see here, Bolton got a penalty here. But Bolton would have been the happier side coming out of this because they got a very good point coming out of.
If you can take a point away from home, you're obviously going to be happy. Cause, it's easier to play at home than it is away from home, unless you're then play Dons.
And there you go, right there. That is Dion Charles with his debut goal for the season. No, sorry, not Dion Charles. Aaron Morley. Of course, he's the one wearing number 16. A brilliant point for Ian Evan, even though Ipswich equalised almost immediately. Immediately showing their quality, even on opening day. But yeah, I remember watching Fogden's vlog, and I knew he was happy taking a point from Portman Road. They all would have been anyway.
Everyone would be happy taking a point away from Portman Road.
No, what a save that was there. 100%. I thought we weren't going to do it, and then we rescued it the 93rd minute to completely wind every single Ipswich fan right up. It was beautiful. You got a point at Portman Road as well, so
did, yes.
You know what's interesting? Ipswich haven't actually done that great against the so-called top sides at home this season. Apart from Derby, they did beat Derby, no problem. They did beat Peterborough, no problem. But and Pompey. But then you got us, Barnsley, Sheffield Wednesday, Bolton. We all took a point from Portman Road. All of us did.
That game as well. I can't remember who took their free kick, but it was honestly one of the best goals I've seen in my life, that free kick. I can't remember who took it. It might have been, what's it called? Connor Chaplin.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope it weren't, but it honestly went, whoever took that free kick, I think it opened their scoring.
Was this in when they won at Oakwell 3-0?
No, this was, what's it called, when we went to the 2-2 at Portman Road.
Oh, yeah. No, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean, yeah. But no, a 1-1 draw at the end, separating these two. In YouTube terms, Alex Griffin versus Fogden. But yeah, Lee Evans equalising there for Ipswich through that set piece. And he got man of the match as well, according to FotMob. But yeah, I mean, 18 total shots compared to their 5. I mean, that just shows alone on what's to come for Ipswich's season.
And at the end of the season, they were one of the best teams in EFL, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's not the best team in EFL. Just they absolutely trounced everyone.
I could not agree more. They did absolutely trounce everyone. They thrashed Charlton 6-0. They thrashed the annoying lot Exeter 6-0. So
they thrashed us 3-0.
That was wonderful to see, obviously. But yeah, but I mean, it's a massive improvement for them though as well. In fact, it's a massive improvement for both of them, really, because Bolton finished 9th last season. Ipswich finished 11th last season and were completely bang average towards the end. So, like, it just shows it's what's to come. And now I will admit, when I was doing my League One predictions and I saw everyone backing Ipswich to go up, I was there thinking, why? They finished 11th last season. But then I realised how much money and finance and who they were signing and all that. So that was again why I had them higher. I had them 3rd in my predictions at the end, so it wasn't too bad. Bolton, I got spot on. I had 5th in my predictions for them, and that's
we'll not talk about what he said about us.
Yeah, and I think we had our fair share on that because I wasn't sure how Barnsley were going to do with Duff at the beginning and after how last season ended, but you boys proved me wrong massively. You've been exceptional, honestly. And then of course after the 3-0, you thought we were going to bottle it, like a lot of people were.
I did make an apology to all Plymouth fans,
but it's all right because we managed to go up anyway. We're like Captain America and Iron Man at this point. We're just proving each other wrong.
Exactly.
So I'll take it any day of the week. But no, a 1-1 draw between Ipswich and Bolton. Very good point for Bolton come towards the end of the season. Of course, it was a tough opening day for Ipswich in general. So you could look at it like they're both happy with a point. Same with Wednesday Portsmouth, but obviously Pompey's going to be the happier one.
Yeah, the
end. The happier one at the end. Now, the next match, which I'm going to get up now, is a match that I said before the opening day of the season, one to massively look out for. If you can see it on my screen, I'll play this one because it's shorter highlights. But obviously, Derby being back in League One for the first time in God knows how many years, taking on a team that I tipped to well and truly be up there this season, which didn't work out to be. Derby versus Oxford at Pride Park. What was a tight 1-0 win. Now, while I've actually got this match on, I will actually get up at the same time. Because I did say I'd talk about this during it. My predictions for each game this season, because I did make predictions for the entire season as well. But no, of course. Now, I got this wrong. I said Oxford would get a point from this game, and they didn't. They quite didn't. I said Ipswich Bolton would be a 0-0, so I wasn't far off there. And I said Wednesday would beat Portsmouth 2-1, which didn't quite work out.
What made you think Oxford were going to be right high up?
Because, well, last season they finished just behind us, missing out on the playoffs only just. They finished 8th, we finished 7th. I had them 7th in my start of the season predictions because I thought they'd go for it again. The one I predicted to drop off was Wickham because they lost Akinfenwa and then they lost Stockdale. But I sort of got proved wrong for that because their new keeper, Max Stroik, he's been unbelievable for them this season.
Exactly.
But also I was sort of right because Wickham did drop off towards the end. I did have them 11th for my predictions. They didn't finish 11th. They finished 9th. But I did have them to. I knew I was going to predict one of the teams to drop off slightly, and I did end up going for Wickham. But they were for some of it, they were a lot better than what I thought. But no, I expected Oxford to be so much better, and they have been, quite frankly, shocking this season.
Narrowly avoiding relegation.
Narrowly avoiding relegation. Like, I did not expect them to do that as well. And when I do release this, as Derby do take the lead there, and that's where they get all the 3 points. I expected Oxford to be a lot higher, of course, but also at the same time, looking at the team they had, I just honestly, I did not see them to do that badly, honestly. So I am a bit surprised about them, and that's why when I do release this video, that I've called, when I do release it in the summer, that I'm going to call my awards for League One this season. As a mate of mine has just joined the chat. Hello, mate. How are we doing? Basically, there was an award that Jack Ward and 4-0 written all over it did called the biggest underachievers of the season. They gave it to MK Dons, but they're not mine. Mine were Oxford because I knew MK were going. Well, I thought MK were going to be a lot worse anyway when they sold literally their 2 best players immediately in the transfer window market. But Oxford, I didn't expect to do that badly at all. And yeah, like you said, narrowly avoiding relegation. I just didn't expect it at all.
I think you could say it could be MK Dons. I think I agree with him though. They actually got relegated.
You could, you could. To be fair. I did have MK Dons 9th in my predictions. I had them to drop off, but not by much. But yeah, at the same time, you could say that as well. I guess I can also say I've also said Oxford though in a way because they've stuck with Carl Robinson for most of the season, and I expected him to turn it around because last season and the season before I saw him as a really good coach, and the season before that, and he just didn't, and then he got sacked at the end. Whereas MK they sacked Liam Manning quite early, so. From that point onwards, I was like, I can now see them near finish where they are now. But,
exactly.
But it didn't. But of course, yeah, they did get relegated at. They did get relegated at the end. So it just wasn't to be for them. But well, I call it karma because they thrashed us 5-0 at the end of last season, and they were all bragging that they're going to be better than us and all that. And now look where they are. So all that really. But no, a narrow win for Derby to start off their campaign in League One, a league that they feel they do not want to be in at all. And I know immediately they're going to they're going to want to bounce back up next season.
They'll be there next season, or this season, you could say. I think this season, can't we? Or next season?
Mind you, technically, yeah. Well, I mean, the season's over now. It finished yesterday, so
that'll be up there.
It's normally for me. I usually say this season in June, and then I say for this season for 22-23, and then by the time July comes, I say 23-24 is this season.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Derby will be up there.
Technically this is last season now. So yeah, you're not wrong at all because. The season did finish yesterday. Man City winning that Champions League over Inter Milan. But yeah,
they're securing the treble as well.
Yeah, they've done the treble as well, and someone's going to either knight Pep Guardiola or give some sort of OBE or something to him, I reckon. But yeah, Derby ended up the better team overall at the end with the total shots, the expected goals. The possession. Oxford had the more fouls committed, but no, it was a narrow 3 points, and yeah, the Rams would have taken it. regardless. So that's a good opener for it was Liam Rosenia back then, because of course Wayne Rooney announced his resignation, and when I saw that, I thought, I can't lie, I was gutted when he resigned, because I was there thinking, I can't wait for Wazza at home park. It's going to be unbelievable.
And he goes in, what's it called? Jumps away.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Which then moves us on to our next match. And yeah, it's our one, Brad. It is our next one. The home park opener between who we joked about. Actually, let me go back a second. I love how my freaking Oakwell trip's the third video that comes up. Oh god. But yeah, obviously now when I reacted to this, seeing that we had Barnsley opening day of the season, I said, "Oh, okay, this is going to go one way or the other." I couldn't see it. I basically I could have seen this match go a Barnsley win, an Argyle win, or draw. I didn't know how it was going to pan out. But yeah, we played each other really early. How many did you take to home park at the end?
I think you're about 800. So.
Fair enough.
I mean, which season we had last season, I wouldn't have expected more than 200 to go to the other side of the country.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Let me know if you do come home park next season as a neutral.
I'll be there. Don't worry, I'll be there.
Yeah, I was just sitting nervous for 35 minutes, and then I see Barnsley hit the bar then as well, and I thought you were going to score. But I can't lie, Brad. I thought we absolutely outplayed you at home.
You did, yeah.
And then Azad scored that absolute wonderful goal.
Yeah. He ran his ragged all the time.
Yeah, throughout the entire second half of the game, I was holding my breath thinking, can we hold it on?
And you did.
Yeah. And that's Cooper coming up with another cracking save.
Best keeper in the league for a reason.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Liam has joined.
Yeah.
Perfect timing, mate, actually.
Yeah.
No, you know what's even more interesting about this, Brad? You're not going to believe this, but I actually did predict us to win 1-0 even before the game, and it somehow worked.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have blamed you, to be fair.
I was expecting it to be a hard game, but I think I only had us to win just on the basis from how the end of last season ended for Barnsley. I didn't know how Duff was going to do on his debut.
I wouldn't expect us being top 8 after what happened last season. We all thinking Malacca and an inside club and outside club.
Yeah,
so I'm just happy we're going to playoffs.
Just out of curiosity, you can see my screen, can't you, Liam, on Discord?
I'm not on Discord at the minute. I
was going to say,
I'm getting my laptop.
I was going to say, if you want to see the highlight footage, it's on the Discord call that Brad and I are on right now on our group chat.
I'm getting my computer up for StreamYard, and then I'm putting.
Fair enough. No worries, mate.
Headphones in then.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'll
Would you still be able to hear me on Discord? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It was actually a lot more confusing to set up than what I thought. I can't lie, but now
how does it go? Set it up.
Horrible. It was going well, and then the minute 7 o'clock came, I ran into so many freaking some technical difficulties. So I was not happy, but I was reacting to myself, going typical stream. But there's another. There's another. Yeah, it is, and there's another. There's another 45 episodes of this to come, so I'm glad it's happened on the first one. Mumba got given man of the match for this game. Who was your man of the match in this game, Brad?
I said Finn Azaz for me.
No, that's mine, Joe. I looking back, I don't know why Mumba got man of the match. I know he played exceptionally well, but Azaz was also my man of the match. He
just ran circles around us.
He was basically masterclassing on his debut, and I couldn't believe it. When I was watching this, because I couldn't go to this game, when I was watching this, I was there thinking we've actually signed someone really decent if he continues like this for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the injury said otherwise, but towards the end of the season, of course. But who knows? We might be bringing him back next season in the Championship. Well, they gave Williams your best player during this match. Do you agree with that, Brad?
I would say, yeah. It was just a tough game in general for everyone. There weren't really any quality with us, apart from that shot that hit the bar. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
We just got outclassed everywhere.
Well, we did average on possession though, but no. In other stuff though, look at that 17-9.
I know it was early
days. I know it was early days, but when full time blew, I was reacting to it, thinking, "What a brilliant start to the season!" But can we keep it going? It's only the first game of the season.
Exactly, but
while we're here, actually, because I said to Liam that I would do this during these 46 episodes, but I'm going to take you all down memory lane of what was my reaction to the Finazaz goal. So, yeah, and this was back when my pronunciations for some of our players were, I can't lie, shocking. So that was
this.
Basically every single debut season for me summed up in terms of like the first game of the season. And when it gets to like the third or fourth game, I'm so much better with it all. I know it's here somewhere. I need to find what minutes this was. But no, it was a very good win. But to be fair, Brad, you bounced back immediately, and I'm going to be looking at that tomorrow morning in your first home game of the season against Cheltenham, the Michael Duff derby.
Yeah, we had a proper slow start to the season, but I think if we didn't have a slow start to the season, we'd be up there with you in Ipswich.
I think it was why I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you were going to make playoffs by the time November, December came, and then when Bolton beat you guys 3-0. But that second half of the season run was just unbelievable.
Yeah, as soon as January ended, we went on like a 14 game unbeaten run. And then it started all slipping away when we had that 3-1 loss to Scum.
Oh, yeah. No, very true. That was not a good result for you guys at the end. You know what? That was really painful for me as well, because I had to rely on the freaking Scum to do us a favour as well. But
we celebrated when they scored.
Looking back, I was just like, thank you. That was it. I couldn't celebrate them. That would just be like, for example, that would be like being forced to drink whiskey. But looking back now, I'm not that bothered because the season's over. So as long as you relegate them next season, then we're all thankful for you all.
We'll try our hardest, don't worry.
Unfortunately, I don't think they are going down, but it would be hilarious.
Well, anything can happen in football.
There is second season syndrome. Yeah, I don't know. At the moment, early days, of course. At the moment, I've got, in no particular order, Wigan, Port Vale, Cambridge, and Cheltenham. And I've just heard that apparently Alfie May is going to sign for Charlton.
Oh dear. Why
if they do that, that's an unbelievable signing for Dean Holden's side.
Why can't you just come to Oakwell?
I thought you'd come to Oakwell because of the Michael Duff.
Yeah. Oh, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm trying to I'm trying to find the freaking timestamp for when I reacted to the goal. I remember Liam saved it and he sent it to me on Instagram. I thought, well, yeah, that was back when I had blue hair.
Blue hair.
That was back when I looked like a Smurf, but I'll take it any day of the week. I enjoy dyeing my hair. Speaking of which, I've still got to dye my hair before next season starts. I promised everyone that I'd dye my hair to whatever colour on who wins the league in League One this season. And look what happened. So
the greens.
It's going to be the right colour anyway. So just all that really.
So when I see you every match day, then I just go, "What is this hair?"
Yeah, basically. I enjoy dyeing my hair. To be fair, it's actually a lot of fun. But no, actually, while I look for my freaking timestamp of me celebrating out that Azaz goal, before not this season now, but before 22-23 started, Liam, what was your thoughts on how we were going to do this season? Technically last season, but still.
I had us in the playoffs mainly.
Fair enough.
I didn't think we'd go up, but going up is a bonus. But yeah, I had us in the playoffs, I think.
Fair enough. I went a bit optimistic. I had us second, but I was just confident in the squad. I really was. I know we sold Kamara, but I just thought we wanted revenge from how last season ended. That's why I had us on Wednesday, top 2.
Which games have you completed in this episode so far?
So this one, Wednesday's 3-3 with Pompey. Ipswich.
Come on, Wednesday!
Shouldn't have mentioned that now. Ipswich is 1-1 with Bolton, and Derby's 1-0 versus Oxford.
Good old Derby.
Yeah, no, that was a good win for Derby at the end. Okay, right, I found it. So this is where the magic began, all the way back at the end of July.
I can't wait for the pronunciation.
Harrogate are 1-0 up against Swindon. Disaster for Swindon. Now, the context of this, I actually had Sky Sports on in the background as well, so I was actually looking at every single game that the EFL was playing that day. But yeah, no, my pronunciation for Mumba was shocking. I don't want to hear it. Meanwhile, here's Mumba for Argyle. Yes! Yes, come on! Oh, don't do me to swear, but that's what we needed. We've been looking for that the whole first half. We've dominated his first half.
It's not a bad pronunciation of Mumba.
Get in! Get in! Get in! Oh, yes!
Is it get in by any chance?
Yeah, it might have been.
I'll take it.
Looking for that the whole first half. We've dominated his first half. Come on, you Greens. We're 1-0 up. Get in. Get in. Get in. And we will hear the same thing when we get to that. When we get to that dreaded Burton away episode in episode 19.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. So, well, yeah, I guess that's our game summed up, really. Now, the next game for us, which I'm reacting to tomorrow, I don't really want to, but I've got no other choice. When we played Fleetwood away, I couldn't go to that anyway.
I'm glad I'm at college. Thank God for that.
I couldn't go to it anyway because I was at MotoGP Silverstone, so I was just watching qualifying and at Silverstone Circuit while the race was on. When qualifying was on. And then the minute it finished at 5 o'clock and I was heading towards the burger van to get myself dinner, I was like, right, how did we do at the end? And then I just reacted going, oh, it's always freaking Fleetwood, isn't it? Because last time I checked, it was 1-1. So I thought, okay, a point's not too bad against our bogey side. And then it was 2-1 Fleetwood again. I thought, freaking brilliant.
What a season.
I'm so glad we're not playing them next season. I can tell you that now. But now, the next game I have got is a debut League One game for a certain vegan club, Forest Green Rovers, who took on one of their biggest rivals on their first game of the season against Bristol Rovers away. And this was actually, this was a very good win for FGR actually on their debut. Little did they know what was coming towards end of the season. Actually, that's a 9-minute video, so I'm not playing that. Little did they know what was coming towards the end of this season just gone. Oh, they're playing in the pink kit as well. I forgot they did as well in this game.
It's a dreadful kit.
For once, they actually. Oh, you should have seen Wickham's away kit, mate. That's the worst in the league this season, I reckon. It was just plain. It just didn't look good at all on them. For me, I know this is going to sound biased, but for me, the best away kit this season is Argyle's. But I will confess we did not have the best home kit this season.
It's a good kit. I got it.
It's a very good kit. It's a very good kit, but it's not number one. For me, the best home kit this season has been Ipswich's.
No, what plain blue bloody ginger mug Ed Sheeran? Don't think.
No, Ipswich's home kit, home kit. I can't talk. Has been is beautiful this season. That's an improvement of what they produced last season. I hated their home shirt last season. How much did you rate your kits this year, Brad? That's Forest Green.
They just look like training kits until we got some sponsors on them.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And then when we got this American Mobile sponsor on them, it just looks awful on the white kit. But it looks nice on the home kit and I think it was the third kit.
When are we going to announce our kits for the season anyway?
So
I would have thought end of this month, surely. Although most of them usually announce it on early July latest, I swear. That's Aaron Collins with his debut for what was going to be a magnificent season for him.
That's another £80 I've got to spend. Great.
But Forest Green, this is for once a good result for them. Little did they know what was coming for the rest of the season. And that's what one again. What a goal, by the way. That's some goal. Yeah. That is some goal.
That's some rate. What's got results at start of the season? They beat Bolton, didn't they? 1-0, I think it was.
Yeah, I know. That was brilliant. I was very happy for them for that result. Did us a favour.
Let's all laugh at Bolton.
So yeah. And when they beat Wednesday, I was just jumping around in my room, just going, come on. And it was just the best bit of all.
Come on, Wednesday.
The best bit of all was the whole Discord chat of the Wednesday fans just exploding at full time. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
That was the start of their, what's it called? End of automatic promotion push, wasn't it?
Yes, it basically was, yeah. But if they lost that playoff final, they would have been my bottlers for this season. But personally, my bottlers for this season have been Pompey. Like, we literally, like Liam and I have called it at the same time. Like, how can you be in the top three or the playoffs for the majority of the first half and then crumble like that from January onwards? Like, I don't know how you do that. That's mad. But yeah, only Pompey could do that, and only Charlton could win 6-0 one game and lose 6-0 another game.
Yeah,
but I mean that's all to come anyway. But of course, during this match, back when Forest Green for once were good, beating Bristol Rovers away. In fact, I think this is their only away win of the season, and it was on their first game as well. Oh dear. And they dominated it. And they had more shots not really on possession, but the more shots, the more chances, the more expected goals. But it was two promoted sides against each other, so it could have gone either way regardless. How did I do in my predictions for this one? I think I had a Rovers win, so I think I got this wrong.
I hate to do it, but I'm not sure. Like I said to you before, I've got somewhere to be now, so.
Yeah, are you off now?
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on.
Honestly, no problem, Brad. By all means, come on anytime, and I'm down for anything. I'm pretty sure you will come on when you beat us 3-0 at Oakwell.
Oh yeah, I'll be there for that. Yeah, don't you worry.
What round was that? It was one of round 36 or 37. So yeah, no, the minute I message you saying that's the round we're on, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be there for that.
Oh yeah. But I won't be. What's it called? Cocky. You know, you guys got promoted, we didn't. So
yeah.
No, I've got at the moment. I've got you. I can't choose on who I think will come first out of your derby next season.
I hope it's us, but I'm happy to get second either way.
I actually think if you play like how you did in the playoff final for all of next season, I think you'll win the league. Honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I've only got Derby top for right now. It's just I can see Paul Warne do exactly what Shuey did this season. You miss out on playoffs like that on the last game, and then you'll want revenge and kick ass the following season.
Well,
even without McGoldrick, I think they'll be fine. Honestly.
Well, we'll have to see what happens then.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, no. Hope you have a good evening anyway, though, Brad.
Thank you very much. Yeah. You too as well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. No, no problem. I'll catch you later.
Will do. Take care.
Take care, mate. Have a good one. Yeah, unfortunately, this is a first, but no one is currently watching the stream right now. Thanks, YouTube. Freaking technical difficulties. Muppets.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, well. But people can rewatch this anyway. It's actually got a lot quicker than what I thought. We're not even on 50 minutes yet, and I've already gone through 5 games, I think. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
I'll take that, to be fair. But, nah, it is what it is. I'm reacting to every game as it is anyway. But, no, that was a good win for Forest Green. Moving on to what is another League One debut, and it's for the most annoying club in the world, who went to face Lincoln on their opening game of the season. So yeah, this annoying club here, Exeter City.
Jesus.
I mean, you can see my Discord screen, can you, Liam?
I'm just going into Discord now. Yeah. Don't you put my headphones in? I need to put my headphones in, didn't I?
You don't have to, actually. I realise you don't need to. I've muted it anyway, just in case. So yeah, it should be fine. You don't have to use headphones. But yeah, Lincoln versus Exeter. This is Lincoln's first visitors of the season, and it's Exeter playing in that awful kit. I'm so biased. I'm so sorry, but not sorry. Well, Exeter actually took the lead. I forgot about that as well. And I actually thought for a minute they were going to come away with 3 points. Nombe scoring immediately, but Lincoln found an answer immediately. I've just realised, Liam, I think I did just hear a bit of an echo, so I think the headphones might be the better option.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Lincoln misses chances there. I'll wait for you to do that while I'll pause it for the time being. What happened? You all right?
I tried to take my headphones out.
Oh, right.
Right. They're Bluetooth.
Wait, you all sorted?
Yep.
That should be good then. Right. We'll play on then. Exeter with the quick throw-in. Now, with all things considered, considering this was their first game back in League One since, it was 2012, because that's when they got relegated to League Two. That's Lincoln's equaliser. Great goal. I'd say, as much as this pains me to say, I'd say this is a good point for the Scum. But then again, it's Lincoln. Lincoln cannot perform against the lower end teams. Whereas against the top teams, meanwhile, it's a completely different story. God, they nearly took the lead as well. And Lincoln's keeper saving it just. And then, just a fairly bang average 1-1 for the rest of it. Now, I did say a draw for this game as well, but I didn't get the score right. I think I said 2-2 in my predictions, and it ended 1-1.
Yeah, I think you did.
Because I know I've got my predictions saved on my phone. But yeah, obviously as it stands, guys, so far. So I said 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday against Portsmouth. That was wrong. It was 3-3. Then Ipswich Bolton, I said 0-0, and it was 1-1. Derby Oxford, I said 1-1, and it was 1-0 Derby. Us Barnsley, I said 1-0 us, and it was spot on. Rovers Forest Green, I said 2-0 Rovers, and it was 2-1 Forest Green. And then, this I said a 2-2 draw, and then it was 1-1. So I'll take the outcome correction, but that's about it, really. So very interesting there. The Scum getting a point on their debut. No, I don't want that. Bloody adverts. And this was back when Matty Taylor was in charge of them as well, before he went to Rotherham. Nombe taking the lead, Hopper equalising. Oh yeah, that was back when Hopper was playing for Lincoln. And then Oh, Lincoln were the better team, but it was seeing from those highlights again, it was a fairly bang average 1-1 draw. So really just a point apiece for both clubs who do end up finishing mid-table come game week 46. So I guess interesting and not interesting for the pair of them, which then moves us on to our next game in what was yet another goal fest.
Yeah.
A very good away win, actually, in my opinion, as well. Peterborough again taking on Cheltenham on their first game back in League One. Now, while we watch this, actually, if I rightly remember, Liam, this was the team you had as favourites to go up in your predictions.
Yeah.
Was I? Hang on. Wait, it was Peterborough you said would win the league in your predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I had them fourth in my predictions, so that didn't quite go to plan, but it wasn't too far away. Cheltenham actually took the lead as well. And when I was watching our game against Barnsley, I actually thought Peterborough were going to lose in their debut game. Alfie May proving how class he is already, like he did last season as well, and the season before in League Two. Looking back at this, actually, this just makes me glad we got a win at Cheltenham because that was such a hard-fought game when we went there. Ipswich couldn't win here. In fact, they've never beaten Cheltenham anyway. Wednesday couldn't win here either.
We did.
And we watched that game together as well, and we actually thought Cheltenham were going to do us a favour. Well, they did technically anyway.
Yeah.
And then this is the Peterborough comeback from another amazing striker who, according to Harvey Roseveare himself, we are linked with to sign that next season. Which, if so, imagine him and Hardy up front.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna tear the league apart. I hope. And yeah, no, this is when the comeback completely came. 2-2. Clark Harris scoring again, and then it will get complete in a minute. Cruel for Cheltenham, really, because I thought they were going to walk out with at least a point, but it wasn't to be. Peterborough winning the game 3-2 at the end. Of course, tomorrow at 3:00 is our home game against Peterborough. So I'm looking forward to that because that was another home game. We outclassed what we felt was one of the favourites for the title this season. But
what numbers have they?
Peterborough getting the win at Cheltenham, and it was games like this. Where I felt. I know it was early days, of course. It was the first game of the season, but it's games like this, of course, where I felt if they continue to do performances like this for the rest of the season, they are so 100% going to either be in the playoffs or be in that top two. And why am I not surprised Clark Harris got given man of the match?
What numbers have you today?
It is the 7th game out of 12 from tonight's episode. Oh, I've just realised. No, I got it wrong, Liam. It's your Discord mic you need to mute.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I got it wrong. Not your stream one. Keep that as it is, but like mute your Discord mic and then the echo will go then. But you'll still get the shared screen that I'm sharing on Discord anyway.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's so much better. Yeah, I've managed to realise that. But yeah, there's still 45 more episodes of this to come. But yeah, a very good win for Peterborough at the end. And this was back when Grant McCann was their manager. It was Wade Elliott's debut for Cheltenham. Meanwhile, but of course, this is back when Jack Marriott was with Peterborough as well. Cipriano from the bench. He turned out to be a vital player for the Posh, especially when they freaking beat us 5-2, which is going to be streams away in Matchweek 33, I think that was. So you'll get to hear me rage in that one. Not because I'm reacting to it, but my video in general. But no, a good win for Peterborough at the end, which moves us on to the next match in what I felt. Well, not just what I felt, but they were bragging immediately after they won this game. Wickham versus Burton, they were already top of the league after the first round, and they already said immediately that they were going up. Well, then.
Huh.
There's another 45 games to come yet, boys. But no, well, Burton, as we all remember, Burton were absolutely dreadful at the start of the season, or as in your words, Liam, cack. Wickham dominated this game from start to finish. Wheeler, with his typical celebration, living up to his name, fair play to him. But this was just the pure Gareth Ainsworth masterclass, this was. And this was back when that man was playing, Anis Mehmeti, who's now at Bristol City, and we're playing him again next season in the Championship. Ainsworth loving it. But, yeah, this was... in fact, if I rightly remember, I think this is the 1 week of the entire 46 rounds where Wickham were top of the league. Little did they know what was coming in what I'm reacting to tomorrow, because they got that away trip to Bolton tomorrow morning.
They got beat.
And I wonder how, yeah, exactly. And I wonder how that ended up for Wickham.
You know, terrorists.
Oh, no, this was an Ainsworth masterclass at the end. I can't remember what I had in my predictions for this. What did I say? I said it'd be a tight 1-0 Wickham win. So I did not expect a thrashing. So there we go. But yeah, this was only games before Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank got the sack for Burton. But yeah, this was back when they were dreadful, and this is where I feel. Well, that was a decent shot there, but this is where I honestly thought. Well, we're not here, but back in but when it got to the halfway point of the season, I really thought they were going to get relegated. So their comeback was unbelievable. But no. A solid win for Wickham in their opening game of the season. Absolutely dominated Burton from start to finish. Of course, they'll both be playing each other again next season, by all means. And it was Fotmob gave Scowen the man of the match for the chair boys. Well, I mean, look at that. What does that tell you? That is just pure domination on an opening game. Oh, yeah, that was back when Adebayo was playing for Burton. He got subbed off at the end. Although Burton had a lot more shots than what I thought, but still, scoreline wise, that's pure domination for Gareth Ainsworth. But they couldn't keep that going for the rest of the season. Caitlin has joined the chat. Hello, Caitlin. You're going to be gutted, Caitlin, because you have missed your game, I'm afraid. It was the second game I showed, Ipswich Bolton, on what I talked about. It was a very good point for Bolton at the end. But would you? I know for the rest of the season, their home form improved a lot. But would you agree with me, Liam, that against most of the top sides, this might be a really unpopular opinion, but against most of the top sides, apart from Derby, Ipswich haven't quite impressed me, if you get what I mean. Because they lost to us. They drew with Wednesday both times. Although they did beat Bolton away, to be fair. That was a very good win for them, and Barnsley away. But in some of the games, especially the ones at home, they couldn't beat us at Portman Road. They couldn't beat Bolton at Portman Road. They couldn't beat Sheffield Wednesday at Portman Road. They couldn't beat Barnsley at Portman Road. Their home form hasn't slightly impressed me because of that. Even though, of course, towards the end of the season and towards most of their home form, they've been exceptional, obviously.
Yeah.
So just all that really. So looking back, it was a very good point for Bolton at the end. But the next game, speaking about the Northwest, Liam may as well. We may as well introduce the meme for this one because we know what's coming. It is. I'm going to give you the clue now. Charlton were away to this club.
Play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
So there we go. I'm just going to show you the match now. It's a 2-2 draw at the Wham Stadium. What did I have for this game? Because they both finished right next to each other in the in League One last season. So I actually thought that I think I had Charlton to draw this. Opening games. What did I say? I said 1-1. I said 1-1 and it ended 2-2 at the end. So I guess not a bad point for Charlton considering the start of the season. However, if this was end of the season running or midway point of the season where Stanley looked dreadful, this would have been a big blow for Charlton anyway. Even if they were fighting for mid-table. Well, not just that. We're not just fighting for mid-table, but even if they were going for the playoffs at the end, they didn't get it at the end, of course. They finished 10th. But, I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have. Ugh.
It's interesting, actually, because I know a lot of people had Stanley to stay up because of how they did last season. But I only didn't because I thought there's going to be one team that's going to have a banging season last season to then having a shocking season the following season. And I predicted that to be Stanley because I think I had Stanley 21st in my predictions. And, well, it turned out to be correct as well. Well, not the position-wise, but correct in terms of that they got relegated. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, this game could have been worse for Charlton because this was a goal fest at the end. But, yeah, it could have been worse. They could have lost here. Thankfully, we won here, or I would have been seething. We all would have.
Yes.
If I had the budget, I would have gone to that Tuesday night as well, but I didn't. I helped Rosevear with his stream. It would have been another ground to tick off. But it was you I felt bad for, Liam, because you were going to go to Stanley away as well.
Yep.
Hang on. What actually happened then at the end that you couldn't go to Accrington at the end?
I thought it was working.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. I'll read some of Caitlin's comments here. It's all right. Don't worry. I remember it well. Aaron Morley shushing the home fans and Trafford and Santos keeping us in it. Losing Bishop really ruined Stanley's chances and Butcher as well. Yeah, very true. Jacob's joined the chat. Peterborough fan. I'm afraid you've missed your game as well if you've just joined, Jacob. Your 3-2 win over Cheltenham away on your debut. And we were talking about Peterborough quite a bit, actually, because Liam had Peterborough as champions in his start of the season predictions. I had Peterborough 4th in my start of the season predictions. But looking back at that game while I was watching our home match against Barnsley, Peterborough got a very good win at Cheltenham, 3-2 as well, a Clark Harris masterclass. And it was just games like that where I felt if they continue to do this for the rest of the season, they are surely at least either in the top 2 or they're in the playoffs. Peterborough did get playoffs at the end, but they won't want to talk about that. They won't want to talk about that Hillsborough clash for sure. That's going to be in episodes to come as well. That's the other thing I forgot to announce, actually, guys, is as you can imagine, because Cheltenham were winning that as well, and then they completely blew it. So I knew you were absolutely fuming at half time. But I was just gonna say, really, that speaking about it and all, though, it was obviously a very good win for Posh at the end. But Charlton did take the lead, and then 2 stoppage time goals, sharing the points between the two. Again, Sean McConville carrying parts of Aki's season, despite them going down. Charlton actually had more of the possession and the total shots. Both big chances. It's funny because I said before opening day this was a draw written all over it, and coincidentally it was. So there you go. 3 games to go. 3 games to go, and then that is basically the opening round of this season review wrapped up, and then we move on to tomorrow morning, which I don't really want to move on to because we freaking lose to Fleetwood again. Next game is a 0-0. It's Morecambe hosting Shrewsbury. So, well, not really ideal for either them, to be fair. The weather is freaking awful. I'm glad I didn't get that when I went to Morecambe. Oh, look at the camera lens. They're literally nearly blurred.
Yeah.
So, no, this is a typical 0-0 draw. And neither of them getting what exactly they wanted. Shrewsbury will be bricking themselves coming into next season now because Steve Cotterill is no longer their manager. So I don't know how they're going to do regarding that. Speaking of which, we've been linked to one of their players, which all four of us have already said immediately off camera that we do not want to sign him. That is Pennington, of course, but yeah, if he does sign, he does sign, but I don't think it's the right call for us for next season personally. But no, going back to Morecambe Shrewsbury, this was of course a 0-0 at the end. I don't know who would have been the happier side. Both of them pretty much finished right near each other towards the end of last season as well. Both of them staying up. But looking back towards how this season went, Shrewsbury probably would have been the more unhappy because they finished a lot higher than Morecambe come end of this season. But I mean, if this was at Shrewsbury's ground, it would have been a lot different for Cotterill's side, meaning like they would have wanted more than that. So I guess it could have been worse. They brought a lot to Morecambe, to be fair, seeing that away end, to be fair, from then. But no, typical 0-0 draw, that was.
Yeah.
So nothing gained from the pair of them, really. Things would be different coming into their second game of the season, of course. But I'm just going to show you the stats from this now when I get it uploaded onto FOTMob. And Morecambe's defence did play very well. I think that basically summed it up, really. None of Shrewsbury's attack had a good game at all. Shrewsbury had the more possession, the expected goals. Morecambe, the more big chances. But yeah, looking by that footage again, it's just another typical bang average 0-0. Now, I don't remember what I had in my predictions for this game, so I'm going to look it up. Well, I got it wrong because I said it would be a 2-1 Shrewsbury away win. That did not happen at the end. So, yeah, Morecambe got a very good point towards it, which means we now move on. 2 games to go, actually. Cambridge versus MK Dons in what proved to be a disastrous opening day for Liam Manning's side. Liam Manning's side, of course, back then before he left the club. Hang on, that's MK being at home. Stupid me. I clicked the wrong freaking video. Muppet. Cambridge at home, MK Dons away. Again, all the way back at the end of July, this was. And this would be the start of what was a dreadful campaign to come for MK Dons. MK, they're already looking for a penalty. Didn't happen at all. I don't know how they missed that, though. This was back when Cambridge were really strong. At the start of the season. And I've had comments, I've seen comments, on another video that I saw uploaded the other week, and it was called the League One table by week, not by match week, like everyone playing round 1, round 2, round 3, etc., but by like when everyone played everyone, of course. And of course, Cambridge were in that top 10 at the start of the season. And there were a lot of comments saying that oh, that's the reason why they stayed up. Not necessarily. They could have still easily gone down. It's their end of season doing that did it for Cambridge, but they should have kept it up from the start of the season, but they didn't. But they did stay up at the end, so it is a win regardless. Of course, Cambridge taking the lead there. MK just found no answer towards the end, so this was a brilliant opening day for Mark Bonner's side. Confidence for Cambridge in general, actually, because they did not have a bad season last season at all. They finished mid-table. They just came up. They freaking outclassed us and beat us 2-0 in what was a shocking performance from us at the Abbey Stadium last season. Another game that costed us the playoffs. But, yeah, obviously a lot different for them this season. And you're going to hate me for listening to this, Alfie, when you do watch this, but I have got you to go down next season because I've seen your retain list. It's absolutely huge at the moment. Absolutely huge. But then again, you have already predicted us to go down, haven't you? So maybe I want to get some revenge. No, I'm kidding. No, I genuinely can see Cambridge go down next season at the moment. But who knows? A very good win for them at the end. It was Harvey Nibbs, who we've been strongly linked with for so long now. We've been strongly linked with him for so long now. He was the one that provided that winner for Cambridge during that game. And yeah, just a full-on dominant performance. I mean, look at that. Sums it up. Digby getting man of the match from FOTMob. MK had the more possession, but they just could not convert or anything. And that sums them up in that game, really. But no, a very good win for Cambridge on their opening day. A very good win for them at the end, which just leaves us to our final game. Our final game of the opening round of the season of Matchweek 1, which was another newcomer of League One this season, Port Vale, who hosted Fleetwood. I don't remember what I had in my predictions for this. Let me have a look. Now, I had MK Dons to win away 2-1 at Cambridge. Did not happen at all because I just expected them to just beat them, no problem. But Cambridge had other ideas. Fair play to them. And then Port Vale Fleetwood, I had a 2-2 draw, which didn't quite go to plan. The 2-1 Port Vale win at the end. And yeah, this was back when Darryl Clark was their manager. And it was a dream debut for them as well, on opening day as well. And you know what's interesting? Watching Fleetwood here on their opening day, it's again, because we won against Barnsley and Fleetwood couldn't beat Port Vale. This is why I freaking had us to finally win at Fleetwood in the next game. And then, of course, the freaking inevitable happened. Fleetwood did take the lead, to be fair.
Yeah.
The inevitable happened, obviously, which I'm going to have a re-look at tomorrow morning, which I don't really want to, but considering it's a review of the season, I've got no other choice. For every rival fan out there, or just opposing fan out there, I have to be honest, I feel for you all, sort of, because none of you, I couldn't go to Fleetwood this season, so none of you got a reaction from me at the game because I just know it would have been complete rage. Same with Burton. Liam and I were meant to go to Burton together, but you got the rages on stream instead.
Yeah.
But we would have. We already pictured it after we drew with Burton. We would have just been on that train. I don't think we would have spoken for a good 10 minutes of it. Well, not exactly us two together. I mean, like all of us in general. I don't think any of us would have wanted to talk about the football after what happened and giving the referee a -10 for that performance.
You're forward, mate.
But yeah, back at this game, a very good win for Vale at the end. Disappointing for Fleetwood, but things would turn around for them almost immediately in their second game of the season. And annoyingly, I wonder who that was against. Jacob saying that only massive clubs lose 2-0 at the Abbey. I mean, to be fair, we didn't win at Cambridge either, so I guess that makes us a massive club as well. No, that game was so frustrating. But I expected it to be hard. They're one of our bogey teams, Cambridge. I did expect that game to be hard, the Abbey Stadium, and it was. And I'm gonna find out again when I get to Matchweek 21 of these episodes, because I can't lie, Liam. I thought we were absolutely shite against Cambridge away.
We made it hard for ourselves, really.
We did, but we were god awful in that game, and we wasted so many chances as well. It was a repeat of our Port Vale defeat, but except that we didn't lose.
I was like, foul, you blind fraud.
Oh, are you on FIFA? Oh dear. But yeah, ended 2-1 Port Vale at the end, and Batty taking the lead for Fleetwood, Smith equalising, and then Hull getting the winner for the Staffordshire club. So a very good win for them. A very even Stevens game, actually, because hardly any of them got very good ratings at the end, but Fleetwood had the more possession.
Great touch.
Port Vale had the more total shots and expected goals. None of them had any big chances, though. So I guess looking from those highlights again, it really was Vale just edging it, really, at the end. So there you have it. I'm now going to bring you guys on World Football Net, not on shared screen because it takes ages on my laptop, but on my phone, on what was the League One table after the opening round of the season. So that's if you can see it. No, it's a lot brighter than what I thought. No, I am going to get World Football Net up on my share screen instead. Oh well, it is what it is. But I'll go through it regardless anyway while I get that up. Wycombe were obviously top. They absolutely dominated Burton on their opening day. On the opening day, of course. So, yeah, very good from them. Peterborough was second after that win over Cheltenham. And surprisingly enough, and everyone's going to be very reacting different to this, and little did we know that this happened, but it is true that after the opening round of the season, guess who was third? Forest Green Rovers. So that just shows how mental their win over Bristol Rovers was. At the end, Forest Green were third, Port Vale were fourth, Cambridge fifth. We were joint sixth with Derby, so still not bad, considering it was early days, of course. So we were joint sixth with Derby. I think Derby were only ahead of us just because of alphabetically, because I know tables do that for some reason. I've got it up now, so I will get it up. Forest Green title charge. Could have you imagined? It didn't work out for them at the end. So here it is. After round one of the season, yeah, Wycombe and Peterborough were automatics after the opening game. We were seventh, but still hanging in there. And then you got Pompey and Wednesday just behind with that 3-3 goal fest. One of the games of the season, in my opinion. Bolton there in 12th. Exeter mid-table. Sort of, if you're looking at the end of the season now, that's as expected. At the start of the season, not as expected. Ipswich 14th after.
Come on, Wednesday!
Little did they know they'd be higher than that, but they would have been higher than that anyway. Lincoln, then Morecambe, Shrewsbury, Cheltenham, Rovers, Fleetwood, and Barnsley were in the relegation zone after the opening day. But that would all change immediately after what I'm reacting to tomorrow. Burton already bottom, Oxford second bottom, MK third bottom. But yeah, the only time of the season, Wycombe were top of the league, and they did not relinquish their lead one bit, which you'll find out tomorrow morning as well. So yeah, that is the first episode, guys. So I guess that is that already. That was a lot quicker than what I thought, I can't lie. So knowing me as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching there, guys. That is the first round of the review of the season, and we will see you tomorrow morning for round 2. Cheerio. Oh, actually, before I end, you can't forget the mighty catchphrase. up the Janners, up the Argyle, up the Greens, up the Pilgrims, up the Plymouth. Come on, you
Yep.
boys in green. Anyway, see you all tomorrow morning, guys. Have a good one.
When they pull on the green, they're all Janners.